chiudrai farfalloni amoroso, notte e giorno di torno girano, delle belle turbando al riposo.
Hello and welcome to Mayfair Prestige. Behind me I've got two great Ferraris, but today I've got a really special one to show you. We've been lucky enough here at Mayfair Prestige to have quite a few number of these cars over the years, and this is a car I've never got bored of. I've never tired of seeing them. I've never tired of driving them. I still think it's probably one of the best cars ever made. I'm so excited to show you guys the car. So here goes. So here we are guys, the 458 Speciale. And we're lucky enough at Mayfair Prestige. I think we've had altogether 14 coupes since they brought this car out and 3 Apertas. We've had them in every colour, different specs, different stripe colours. But let me tell you something guys, this car behind me, this is one of the best Ferraris they ever made, hands down. And I'm telling you, I've driven them, I've been around them, I've lived with them, I've used them. You could never, ever, ever get bored of this car. Even in 5 years, in 10 years, if you own one of these, every time you take this car out for a drive, it's gonna make you so happy. This has got to be one of the best Ferrari mid-engine V8s ever produced. Now, we got a beautiful example here behind me. This one's obviously in the classic Rossa Corsa colours with the NART racing stripe, which is the North American Racing Team stripe. It's got a great spec. It's got the all-important nose lift, which I think on one of these is a really, really important spec option. Beautiful gunmetal coloured, like matte wheels. I mean, this thing, and the carbon fibre in one of these, just standard carbon fibre, is just phenomenal. I mean, there are other carbon fibre options you can add. I mean, you can add carbon fibre front grills and carbon fibre down here, but sometimes with one of these, too much carbon is like overkill. But Ferrari seems to go through a generation of cars. So let's go right back to the 308. So the 308, no good. 328, no good. 348, appalling. 355, got it right. It's the last of the old generation Ferraris. Then you got the 360, didn't get it right. 430, nearly got it right. 458, got it right. Speciale, perfect. I mean, absolutely nailed it. It doesn't get better than this. I just don't think. I mean, I've seen the Pista. It looks great. To me, it looks a bit, dare I say it, designed a bit by Novitec. Doesn't have that same look as the Ferrari Speciale. I also love these little side fins, these little sharp fins on the side of the car. I think these just make absolutely stunning touch of where the design feature change between the standard 458 Italia coming into the Speciale. And these nostrils here on the bonnet, I think just were an amazing touch. But honestly, these cars, in terms of what they are and how they drive, have got to be one of the best cars you can collect right now. I mean, if I'm thinking of putting a car in my collection and what is going to make serious money, because look, a right-hand drive version of these cars, I mean, the example I got here is obviously a left-hand drive car, but a right-hand drive version of these cars is around 300,000. When these cars were new, they were what, around 240 to 260, depending on spec. So they're not that much over their list price. I still think they've got a huge amount of growing to do, being that it's the last naturally aspirated super series Ferrari are ever going to make. This badge right here is going to be something special for this car because this is the last of its kind. I mean, look, as much as the Pista is great, it's a turbocharged car. The 488, has it been a great success for Ferrari? I don't know. Only numbers can tell. I think when the 458 came out, it was a much better, much more desirable. Like I said, that engine being naturally aspirated is a real thing of beauty. Now, let's take you inside this car and have a look round. So here we go. let's lift up the all-important engine bay. Inside here is what sets this car aside from any other car that Ferrari are going to make in the near future, because inside here is what is going to make this car so valuable in years gone by. Now, this car has the naturally aspirated, and that's the key point here, naturally aspirated 4.5 litre V8 engine. The good thing about the Speciale engine is this beautiful carbon cam covers and carbon everywhere. It's just, oh, hello, oh, I love it. But you can spec, there is an option you can spec, and in the number of cars we've had, we did have a yellow car in once that when I tell you was full spec, oh my God, the guy must have ticked every single box and then some. Because all these side panels here, these protection panels from rain and stuff that comes in through this gully, all this can be spec'd in carbon as well. So there are some extra carbon options that can be spec'd inside the bonnet, but this thing here, I think this actually gave out more power per litre than any other engine before it. This 4.5 litre engine was giving so much horsepower. I mean, think about it, it's only 4.5 litres, and how fast and how much horsepower this car generates is obscene. I love the tailpipes as well. I love the rear diffuser. Obviously this can come in carbon as well. You can get a carbon spec rear diffuser, but again, I think sometimes some of these can be a bit overkill. You have got the reverse camera, which is really, really important, I think, on all modern cars. So when you are parking, you can see what's behind you. But I just wanted to show you this thing of beauty, this 4.5 litre. I mean, this is where in long years to come, people are going to look back and remember normally aspirated engines, and remember that these are now going to be a thing of the past, with all these emissions coming in and electric cars and V12s trying to be faded out. This is the time to invest your money in one of these. Buy a Speciale now. You know what I like about Ferrari cabins? You know, they feel spacious inside. You know, I'm a fairly tall guy and I don't feel cramped, and it's not like being in a Lamborghini or, you know, a Hurricane or an Aventador where everything feels so claustrophobic, where inside a, you know, bit an F12 or a 458, everything just feels so spacious and comfortable. I think the whole layout of this car is just really, really good. I love the steering wheel. Once you get used to obviously having all the indicators and windscreen wipers and the Manatino and everything here on the steering wheel, you do get used to it. It's really easy to use. Paddle shifts, I mean, this car changes gear like lightning, and the downshifts are just incredible. All your aircon controls are here. I mean, everything is just where it should be. Pedals are nicely placed, they're not too offset in some of the earlier Ferraris where you were sitting on one side and your pedals were on the other. So I just think it's just one of the nicest places to be. You obviously got the all-important carbon fibre driving zone and the LED lights. These come on when you're really giving it the beans, and you can go over the high revs, and then the revs go to blue where to engage the next gear. You know, it's such a shame sometimes with these cars. You know, we've sold a lot of Mayfair Prestige, and you know, sometimes all I see these cars do is go between Knightsbridge and Mayfair. They don't really go much anywhere else, and it's such a shame for these cars that, you know, they don't see track days. They don't really get the full potential of what this car can do, and I would love to go around in a track in one of these, but unfortunately I don't think one, my MD would like it, or two, the owner of this car may not like it either if he saw me going sideways around the track in his car. But one day I think I will have that opportunity to take one of these full pelt on a track and really see what it can do, because I think when you buy one of these cars, it's important to give it something that you're never going to get on a road. Doesn't matter if it's an English B road or, you know, a really good driving road, you're still restricted to public highways and rules that govern what you can and can't do. So I think it's important one day that you get one of these cars out and really, really show what this car's capable of. But so here we are. I love it in here. I think it's one of the nicest places to be. I can't wait to take it out, so I'm going to go and do that now. Okay, so here we are, 458 Speciale. I love this car. Like I said, you'll never, ever, ever get bored of this car, ever. There's not a part, you know, sometimes in life, there's not like, you can always find a bad point in the car. There's always something you don't like, you know? There's always an aspect of a car that you're not happy with or you don't like or something. But, you know, I'm hard pressed to find something I don't like about the Speciale. And like I said, we've had so many of these cars. It's not like, you know, this is the first one I've driven or been in or lived with. And every time I've ever driven one of these cars, be it for an hour, be it keeping it a couple of days, whatever, there's just no bad point about this car. And this is a left-hand drive car, and I know some people are a bit like, oh, left-hand drive, but the money you save buying a left-hand drive version is actually quite a lot of money. And really, look, if you can drive, what difference if you sit on the left or the right? I mean, bear in mind, some of the best cars ever made only ever came in left-hand drive, so, you know, it's no big deal to be sitting on the other side and driving. But here we go, now we've got a bit of a straight road. Woohoo! I mean, honestly, how would you ever, and these gear changes, actually, let's go into, I love this Manettino as well. That's one thing I love about the Ferrari, is how the Manettino works so nicely. So let's go into race, I think. Why not? Give that exhaust a little bit more noise and be able to really enjoy this car. Oh my good God, this is just heaven. I mean, how, it doesn't get any better than this. I understand the Pista's going to pull more horses. I understand it's going to have more traction control, computerized gubbins. That's nice, look, 458 Spider. I understand that it's going to be technically a better car, but can it get any better? I mean, this thing still looks amazing, still sounds amazing, still drives amazing. Look at these gear changes, look, douche, douche. Just amazing. Can you imagine what this thing must be like on to be able to actually open this thing out? So there we are, guys, the Ferrari 458 Speciale. After spending a day with this Italian beauty, I think I'm going to go and get some pasta now. And one last thing, do you know what they call Italian food in Italy? Food. That's a wrap, baby. Sorry, Pete. You know what, Pete? Keep the first take. Keep the first take. Oh, there's a guy coming with a dog. Film the dog. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. I love these cars. There's one last thing I wanted to add, and I just want to show you guys. Quick, come with me. You know the McLaren Senna? I know where they got the idea from. Quick, come. Quick. You know the door with the glass door? I've worked out where they got the glass door idea from. McLaren, you're geniuses. Look. McLaren Senna. That's where you got the idea from.